guys, welcome back to Let's Talk About It podcast. First and foremost, before we start the episode, we want to say thank you to everyone who supported our last episode and was posting about it and reposting everything that we posted. We're very grateful that we have people who are supporting our podcast and listening to what we have to say.
And hopefully you guys continue to keep listening to our podcast because all we want to do is inform you guys. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it.
So, as you guys may know, Ben Askren and Jake Paul recently fought, I believe last week. And a lot of people were saying that the fight was rigged. And that's not the only conversation that was sparked from the fight. Pete Davidson was there with Jack Harlow and Snoop Dogg, and they were, what do you say? Hosting
They were
fight.
like the commentary people.
Yeah, the commentators. And when Pete Davidson went in Jake Paul's room to go interview him before the fight, he got muted because there's allegations that he brought up
his sexual assault case.
Jake Paul's sexual assault cases.
And Jake Paul was not fond of that. He was like, that's not something you should joke about. But I feel like we need to...
It needs to be talked about.
Yeah, we need to...
Because even Jack Harlow was like, oh, bro, I wouldn't want to hear that before a fight. But I mean...
But nobody's bringing it up.
Yeah, no one's bringing it up.
And it's like, for the amount of people that dislike Jake Paul, why aren't y'all like... Not y'all, but like, why isn't anybody doing anything about it? Like, I'm pretty sure this is not his first sexual assault case.
No, he has a lot.
Yeah, and it's just like when it's celebrities, I feel like it gets kind of like brushed away, but like he needs to be held accountable for sure.
Speaking of like people, other
influencers
that need to be held accountable, like James Charles has a bunch of sexual assault allegations. Many underage boys have come out on TikTok like speaking about the things that he sent them, and James he claims that, I didn't know that they were under the age of 18. But
why are you sending pictures in the first place if you don't even know them?
Why are you sending unsolicited pictures, period?
Like, it's just like, and it's it happens to him a lot, and every time his response is like a little apology that he puts on his Instagram
or his YouTube channel.
Yeah, and he's like, I take full accountability. But do you? Because
why does it keep happening?
Yeah, why does it keep happening? Like, you're a grown man.
Like, if it happens once, okay, that was a mistake. But take that and learn from it. It just keeps happening again and again and again and again. And you know what? Who brought it up? So I was listening to the BFFs podcast with what's that?
Trisha.
No, the Barstool guy with Josh Richards.
It's
Dave?
Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever. Anyways, so it was like an episode with like Dave, Josh, and Noah Beck was on there, and Noah Beck was saying like, oh, it's James Charles, so he's gonna bounce back. And a lot of people were trying to like cancel him and like say, oh, that's not right. But he made a point, and what he was trying to say was that, yeah, what James did was wrong. But because he's such a big influencer, people are going to support him no matter what. Like, he's always going to have a platform. Like, he'll be off for a couple of weeks, won't make a video, and then he'll come back and everybody be like, oh my gosh, James Charles. And he's still going to get sponsors. Like, he's still going to be popular. And he's not faulting James because that's not James's fault that he's famous. It's our fault as consumers, as viewers, that we keep supporting these people and keep giving them platforms. Because if everybody who is following James Charles right now unfollowed him, he would have nothing. But we keep giving him something. And that's what I feel like the point that Noah was trying to make. It's like, he's going to bounce back. Why? Because there's still people who are still going to support him. And like, don't get me wrong, like, some of those people are kids who don't really understand the weight of these situations. But that's all the more reason why we have to educate the younger people so they understand this is serious. It's not a joke.
Right. I feel like if we all... Well, I've been unsubscribed. Well, I was never subscribed to
I've
him.
Been unsubscribed.
I never followed him like that, but I would sometimes watch his videos.
I did in 2018. Sister Squad was on.
But I feel like if it should be like the Tati situation where all that drama came and he lost a bunch of subscribers, but now there's an actual... It's not like petty drama. This is actual like real life. You know what I mean? And like cases like these are not a joke.
But even the Tati situation, wasn't it like he pressured Gage Gomez or something like that, because Gage was like trying to figure out if he was like bi or not.
And James was like making it uncomfortable. I just know it was like some drama with like Jeffree Star and all of them. But yeah, we just need to be like, these people need to be held accountable, because like these people have platforms, and again, like, it's little kids watching stuff like this. So if they're watching this and they think that's right, it's like, it's not.
Then imagine like if okay, so for instance, how James Charles is Snapchatting underage boys and saying sexually explicit things. Imagine how a viewer of his who is around that age would take that from a guy at their school saying those same things to them or something like that. They're going to think it's okay, but it's not. Or even an older person, because with the internet, you don't really know how old everybody is. So like, let's say like a boy gets a message from an older woman, right? He's going to think it's okay. Why? Because James Charles was doing it. Mm-hmm. But it's not.
It's like, because they're younger, they look up to these people. Like, exactly. These are their role models, you know? It's not the same for everybody. So we just need to help them and, like, educate them. And, like, going again with, like, influencers, the Lopez brothers.
Yeah, the Lopez brothers.
Guys, like, literally, they make my skin crawl, because why are they still, like, they're not famous. Like, they're not... But they have a platform, like they're major, they're major like social media influencers. And I'm like confused, because on TikTok it's one thing, and then you go on Twitter, it's another thing. Like on Twitter, everybody hates them, understandable. Yeah. But then you go on TikTok, and like the comments are literally like, "Oh my god, your dance move is so good."
Yeah, or like, "Oh my gosh, she looks so good," or "Why is he so hot?" Or like, does he reply like, "Bruh, I don't know." I just feel like, first of all, let's talk about the Lopez brothers situation, because they Tony always gave me like weird vibes, even though I don't know this man personally. But he just always
not because like, he's not my type of person, but like he looks,
something about him.
It's fishy. Like, I don't know. Like, he looking fishy. Sus. Like,
yeah, no.
And when that stuff happened, like when Tony's on Twitter, like the girls coming out and saying they were like sexually assaulted and stuff by Tony, everybody in the comments was like, "Oh, all we have is Andreas." Mm-hmm. Now Andreas is the only good brother. Yeah.
And now look at him. Which I find that so crazy, because I would have never expected, but I guess the apple don't fall too far from the tree.
Because Andreas looks like a very like shy, chill
or
guy.
Very nice guy. Like, but you know, people put on acts, so we don't know these people in real life.
We don't, but like,
and I feel like also they got away with stuff like this because of, what do they call it, like a power complex or something like. Okay, so basically, this is what I'm trying to say. I don't know what it's called, but when someone has fame, right? Mm-hmm. People will do anything to get clout, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because these underage girls were getting, like, unsolicited pictures from, let's just use the Lopez brothers, for example. The Lopez brothers were texting them. They were getting unsolicited pictures from them. Because the Lopez brothers are so popular, the girls undermined the fact that they were older and they were trying to do, sexual things with them. Like, they were like, oh my gosh, like the attention, mm-hmm. but the attention from someone who has a lot of followers. I don't know how to explain that. And
I know, I get what you mean. It was kind of like they got manipulated in a way.
Yeah, manipulated.
Because I don't think they understood the full concept. Like, I know on TikTok there was this trend where it was like they were posting like messages of influencers or celebrities, like messaging them mm-hmm. and sending pictures to them. And like some of the girls did it for like the Lopez brothers and stuff. But it was never, I don't think they ever thought like, oh, like this is not right. This is wrong, this is not right, because they were too focused on like not the cloud, but
they were too focused on getting attention from someone who wasn't a regular person.
Right.
Yeah. Regular person, air quotations.
Yeah. Which is.
I mean, okay, I can understand, because if I were 16 and the most popular boys on TikTok messaged me or DM'd me, I would be freaking out. I wouldn't be thinking about, oh my gosh, I'm underage and a 24-year-old man is saying, hey, sexy, you know.
But I'm sorry, but like, in what way would you want the Lopez brothers to message you? Like, they are not it. I'm sorry. I mean, everybody has their
Everybody
preference.
has their own
Yeah,
preference.
has their preference, but like, please.
Yeah,
Let's
no.
do better.
Well,
like,
I'm not even gonna lie. You know what? I'm about to out myself. Me and we low-key stand them like 2019, 2020.
God.
You know, during quarantine, like that whole time. Like, not gonna lie, like. But then when all that stuff came out about Tony, like, obviously we unfollowed and we were like disgusted by him, and we were in shock because, like, what the heck? Like, that was so. It was out of nowhere, honestly, but.
you never expect it from like the people you follow.
Yeah, or the people
because
that
you don't really know them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they only show you what they want you to see. Like, you don't know behind.
But imagine how many other like celebrities who have like a lot of money gotten away with stuff like this by making people sign NDAs or like paying them off. Like R. Kelly,
Yeah, and he only got held accountable like years later,
and for a little bit of them, not all of them.
Yeah, not all of them.
Bill Cosby,
and these are Bill Cosby is a different breed. That man is a menace. Like, but like, that's why I think women are afraid to come out, because nothing changes.
And also, again, that power complex. Like, first of all, as a middle class person, I don't even have enough money to sue Walmart. So I don't have enough money to sue my neighbor. Right. So imagine me trying to open a sexual violence case with Jake Paul, who it has a lot of money and has good lawyers, access to good lawyers who can make his case seem like he's an innocent man and actually even reverse it and put me in jail or something like that. Right. Like, I would never, because I know I don't have any weapon again. Like, what can I do?
Yeah. Like, I think that's what it is. Like, because when you come out, especially if it's like a big celebrity, everybody's going to know. Like, there's going to be news articles. Like, you're going to be in the center of attention, basically. And a lot of women get hate. Not only women, but men that come out, they get hate because it's always like their favorite celebrities. They would never do that. They would never do that.
And then it's the fans.
Yeah.
That be like, you're lying, or sending them death threats and all this stuff. And it's like...
Yeah. And it, like, how do you think it makes the women or men feel?
Do you know Jake Paul personally?
Yeah. Like,
do y'all go on dinner dates? Like, how do
y'all hang out?
You invited to the cookout? Because how would you know?
Yeah.
Did you ask him yourself? Like...
It comes down to the fans and, like, the people, like, us wanting to do something, you know, like, for these women and men that come out. And it's just sad that, like, there's been a bunch of, like, okay, I don't know if you know this, but there was a gymnast, like, trainer. His name was Dr. Larry Nassar, something like that, right? And he would work with, like, that's what his name was, like, Larry Nassar.
Oh, wait. I think I know what you're talking about, but keep talking.
And he worked with, like, the girls that were going to the Olympics, right? So when they would train, he would, like, stretch them out and stuff.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
And those girls, when you're in the Olympics, you're literally, like, 15, 16.
Yeah.
When you first start,
because you got to start young.
Yeah, if you get called for the Olympics or for the training, right? And he would, like, pretend like he was, like, stretching them and, like, helping them out, but in reality he was, like, literally touching their private parts. Yeah, exactly. And doing all these things to them. And them being girls, they were like, well, is this right? Like, I think this is right because it's just stretching. Like, right. You know, they
were impressionable.
Yeah, they didn't know. And then, like, one of the girls, I think, reported it to the people that were in charge of, that's what they called it, the training center, the ranch. And those people did not do anything. They were like, they didn't do anything. Like, they didn't fire the doctor. They didn't, they just didn't do anything. And then the girl, like, obviously she didn't go to the Olympics. Or I think she didn't qualify because of that, even though they're not going to admit that. And then everybody started coming out like, oh yeah, he was touching me and stuff like that. And it's like the power, you know, when we have the power, women and men have the power to come out and, like, get these people in jail. And that's where he is, in jail for many years. But nobody would have thought from him, because on YouTube he was posting like these videos to help, like, girls stretch and stuff. Like, he didn't look like...
It's the people you least... I feel like sexual violence happens in everyday life, but people overlook it when it's the people you least expect.
Yeah.
Doctors, even your boyfriend or girlfriend. Like, sexual violence happens in relationships, and people don't want to point it out because they think, oh, why would my boyfriend do this to me? Or why, they try to make up all these other thoughts
my
and
boyfriend
excuses.
loves me, he would never, or my girlfriend loves me, she would never.
But
they're literally manipulating you.
It's manipulation. And this is exactly why we have to do better as people to inform and let people know this is what sexual violence looks like. If in school, if they explicitly said this is what sexual violence looks like, kids at an earlier age will be able to identify when something's not right. Because sometimes I feel like, especially with younger kids, when they try to explain, hey, so-and-so did this to me, the parents brush it off or they overlook it because the kid can't correctly articulate what happened. But if we taught our kids, again, like I said, at an earlier age, exactly what sexual violence looked like and what it was and what it was defined as, kids would be able to say, hey, Uncle so-and-so touched me here, and he did this and he said that, and it made me feel very uncomfortable. But because we can't, younger kids can't really articulate it like that, a lot of their cases get overlooked or don't even get reported, or parents don't pay any mind to it.
Right. Parents usually think the kids are lying.
Yeah.
But why would the kid lie about
especially that? Why would a 5-year-old lie about someone doing something wrong to them?
There's also a lot of kids that literally get sexually assaulted at their own home. Mm-hmm. Because of family members, stepdads, uncles, whatever. And then they'll tell the mom, and they'll be like, no, that didn't happen.
So-and-so would have.
Especially women that choose their partner over their kids,
mm-hmm.
And it happens a lot. And I'm like, how can you, how? It doesn't, how can you not believe your child and, make something happen for this person to go to jail?
I feel like sexual violence, too, gets overlooked in terms of, men. Because think about it. If a 14-year-old boy told his friend, oh, yeah, I banged my teacher,
they'd be like, you're cool, bro.
Hey,
you're cool,
bro, you're valid.
Cool,
That's not right. That is not right. And I feel like there's, whatever the stigma is of men getting with older women, makes them cool or, whatever, they think it's okay, but it's so not okay, and it causes mental trauma down the road. And, please don't let your friends hype you up. If you're hooking up with an older woman and you're underage,
if they're hyping you up, they are not your friends.
They're not your friends.
Because anybody that is your real friend would be like, in what world do you think that is right? And then it's a double standard. If a woman were to say that, it'd be like, you're a hoe.
And you know what? Movies, too, romanticize, having sex with your teacher, specifically.
There's shows about...
there's what is it? A Teacher? Where...
on Hulu.
Yeah, on Hulu, where he hooks up with the teacher. It's not... Why do they do this?
I literally watched that show, and it made me so uncomfortable. Because the guy was literally in love with his teacher. Mm-hmm. And the teacher was like... I don't know if she was in love or whatever, but using him for pleasure.
What I think she needed was emotional reciprocity, because you know how her husband was being very distant.
Yeah.
And she wanted a baby and she wanted all this stuff, and her husband was just pushing her off.
Right.
So she sought after him for emotional reciprocity. And in that same show, when he was going to go get tutored by the teacher, what were the friends saying? They were hyping him up, getting his head big and stuff like that. No. And
what world is that okay?
That's not.
Wait, not in this world.
And the porn too, porn,
Please. Literally, I get it. I don't get it, but I get it. I understand.
I understand people have kinks, and okay, they say you're not supposed to kink shame, but I'm kink shaming. The whole stepdaughter with stepdad, brother and sister. No. Because it's not okay. Kink shaming, if you're talking about someone who's sadistic, that's okay because it's not really harmful. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, there's sadists who are murderous and stuff like that. But generally speaking, someone who's sadistic that can't be harmful. But when people talk about bestiality and stuff like that, that's absolutely gross, and why is the porn industry capitalizing off of this? Even though it's illegal, like, people still, I mean, it's illegal to do cocaine, people still do it. So, you know, people are still finding these videos, and it's absolutely gross.
That is gross. Like,
yeah,
I feel like people just think about it in the moment. Like, I need to get this out
and
of
I
the
feel
way.
like people who have weird kinks like that, where it's like, what's that? What is it called when you have sex with a family member? Incest. People who have, like, incest kinks and stuff like that, I think you need mental help. And I'm not kidding. Like, this is my unpopular opinion. But you need help, because why is that okay? Maybe something happened to you when you were younger that made you think that was okay, and now you have a kink for that. It's just not. That's a whole other subject. Like, for real. Like, that's so crazy.
Incest. Lord.
But yeah, back to, like, our original point. Anyways, porn has a huge impact on the way sexual violence, the narrative of sexual violence, because of the type of titles and content that they make. What exactly is sexual violence? Sexual violence is any sexual act or attempt to obtain a sexual act by violence, acts to traffic a person, or acts directed against a person's sexuality, regardless of the relationship to the victim.
Got this.
Some examples of sexual violence are unwanted touching, attempted or actual rape, forcing or manipulating someone to do unwanted, painful, or degrading acts during intercourse, taking advantage of someone while they're drunk or under the influence, denying contraception or protection before and during intercourse, taking any kind of sexual pictures without the other person's consent, forcing to perform sexual acts or film for money, and threatening to break up with someone if you refuse to have sex with them, if they refuse to have sex with you. Ways that you can help someone who has been a victim of sexual violence is, first and foremost, by believing them, because not believing the victim just adds to the trauma. Let them know that it's not their fault. There's been stigmas of, oh, if someone gets raped, it's their fault. If she was wearing this, she wanted it. She was saying she wanted it. Clothes don't give consent. So just let them know that it's not their fault. Be a listening ear, because that's what they need during that time. They need, kind of like a backbone, someone to be there for them. So just make sure you're listening out to them and respect their right to report the case or not. Don't pressure them into thinking that they have to report it. If they don't feel comfortable reporting it, they don't have to report it. If you've been a victim of sexual violence, the sexual assault hotline is 800-656-4673. That'll also be in the description, and more information will be in the description. Tell someone you trust, because having that backbone will really help you get through it. Take your time. You don't have to tell someone you trust immediately. Like, it just happened to you. Take time to fully understand what happened and the weight of the situation. Practice self-care during this time, because it's easy to fall into depressive states or have negative thoughts. So just make sure you're taking care of yourself. And you can also seek therapy or use resources online or in person to help you get through this time. Again, all those things will be in the description if you need them.
Another thing is to also stop oversharing. So if someone were to ask you if you live alone, you would say like, no, I do not, and my husband is on his way home. If a repairman asks you if you live alone, you would say, no, I do not, and my husband or my wife is on his way home. And then you can also ask for an ID and call the company to confirm. If a neighbor comes knocking on your door that you never speak to and asks if your husband or wife is deployed, no, he's not. He's at work and will be home shortly. If someone sees you walking through your apartment's parking lot and asks if you live there, no, I'm visiting my friend. If you're taking a Uber or you're in a cab and they ask you, are you meeting friends? Know anybody in the city? You would say, yes, I am. They live here and I'm meeting up with him now. And then just if you're traveling alone and someone asks if you need a ride, you would say, no, I'm staying with family and they are picking me up. Don't mistake friendly conversations. Just protect yourself, because not everybody is like in your best interest. Like, again, like we said, it's from the people you least expect it. Even if they look nice, they may not be nice. So,
and just make sure I know we always have the conversation. It's like, girls, make sure you keep pepper spray. Well, it's true. Make sure you keep pepper spray, a taser, a knife, something that you can use to defend yourself. We'll leave some links in the description to videos of self-defense that you can practice. But on the contrary, let's make sure, if you are a young parent, or if you're a parent, period, but I don't think we really fit in that niche for older people.
Yeah.
So if you're a young parent, make sure you're teaching your sons, not even your sons, just your children, period, how to respect people and let them know that these things aren't okay. Just be a good role model for them.
And also, if you're in a relationship, I feel like, I'm saying men right now because I've seen a lot of cases of men manipulating their girlfriends, but they'll be like, the girl will be like no to sex even if they're in a relationship, and he'll be like, well, you don't love me, you don't want to do this because you don't love me or whatever. Like, no,
That's not true.
Yeah, don't fall for that. Like, they're manipulating
They are manipulating you. Also, hold your friends accountable, dude. If you have a friend, and in this case, I'm going to say she convinced someone to do something sexual with her inappropriately, and it seems like that person wanted no parts in what she was trying to do, let her know that it's not okay, that wasn't okay. Like, let her know that was wrong. Let her know what she did and hold her accountable. Vice versa, same for the guy. Hold them accountable. I'm just going to use them because that's a general term. Hold your friends accountable, because a lot of times people will not say anything because they risk losing the friendship, or they don't want to start drama or put themselves in the middle of the situation. Yeah, so, just all in all, I really hope at least one person can take something from this podcast and carry it with them, because a lot of information was spilled here, and some of these things you might already know, but not everybody knows these things, and I just hope that someone will be able to use this information. Share this podcast with your friends, your family, you know, maybe someone you know that has been a victim of sexual violence. Maybe listening to this podcast could help them feel better about their situation, you know?
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. Just stay safe out there, men and women, because it's rough out here.
Young and old.
Yeah, young and old.
Sexual violence does not discriminate.
But yeah, it's rough out here, which is sad, but just stay safe, and like, if you need any support, again, like Gloria said, talk to your friends or someone you really confide in, and yeah.
So that's the end of our second episode. We hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this video, make sure to thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Click the bell so that you can be notified every time that we upload a new video. Go ahead and follow us on our socials. Instagram at Let's Talk About It Podcast. TikTok and Twitter at Let's Talk Pod 702. If you want to be a guest, email us at Let's Talk About It Podcast 702 at gmail.com. And we will see you guys next Saturday.
Love you guys.
Bye.